Oh man, howdy y'all. Oh, we're getting it right at the wire. What did I say this week? 3 streams. Well, we made it. I guess technically. Howdy y'all. I literally just woke up. Five minutes ago, something like that. Yeah, it's a night. Hey. I don't know, like, we were gonna do this a little bit earlier, but I had no energy, man. Like, I woke up, I thought like I felt like I slept enough, but I woke up, was up for like 2 hours, and then I just got hit again. The second wave hit me, and I was like, oh man, there's no way I could stay up. I just got back from a nap, and yeah, you know, there were a lot of ideas, and then I realized I'm probably not lucid enough for most of those. So it's some morally dangerous. Yay! How about that? Now we'll have some fun. I am almost done with another T3. Believe it or not, out of all of the colonization that I've done, this will only be my second T3 that I've ever actually completed. So that's a little different. Usually I've got, you know, a lot of T2s, a lot of base settlements and stuff done, but a T3 is just so much that I've never really gone around to finish a lot of them. I got a lot of them placed, but I've only ever actually finished one, and that was the primary T3 that we did way back when colonization first started. So yeah, this will be nice. I don't know if we'll finish it on stream or not, but we'll get pretty close. But yeah, it's a big undertaking, but I really wanted to get the Frogs of the Lagoon welcome gate up and running. So, you know, that's kind of what I've been doing the past couple days. I don't know, it's just it's a lot of, I mean, all of it's a lot of work when you're looking at colonization. You know, just compared to all of the other things that I've done, I could have built, you know, 2 or 3 T3s over by now. But I think a lot of it's just the fact that you don't really feel any of the progress on your system until it's done, which makes it seem like it's even more work than it actually is, right? Because if I'm putting 200,000 tons down into a single port, that's one thing, versus 200,000 tons down into, like, I don't know, 10 ports, you know, a bunch of surface settlements. One of those is going to feel like it's got more of an effect on the system than the others. So yeah, I've never really done them. But this one being like a big RP hub, a big kind of gateway to the new bubble. Yeah, I figured it'd probably go ahead and be worth it to be done. I just hope it goes to my actual faction, which with my luck it probably won't. But I'm close enough with the second place that if I need to throw it back into another war and take some more assets, I can. Shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, I'd like to get this thing done. That way I can just start moving over to some more systems. Start working on some of this other stuff that I've been kind of pecking away at out here. You know, they did reach the Triffin Nebula. I'm not super concerned about that. It looks cooler up there. There's still a lot of systems available, but it's not a high priority. If I move up there and build another one up in that area, then I'll have to, you know, set another war on fire and all kinds of other stuff. So it's not a high priority, but once we get this done and I get a couple things done in the neighboring system that I'm working on, then maybe I'll go up, see what I can do, see if there's anything good up there. But yeah, how you guys doing? Did you have a good weekend? I guess it's technically the middle of the weekend. Sunday starts my work week, so mine's like a couple days earlier than everyone else's. Mine was fine. I started watching Interview with the Vampire, so that's really occupied most of my time while I've just been staring basically at this screen, at this same loop for the past 2 days. But you know, aside from that, it's been all right. I've had a pretty good time watching it. Honestly, had a pretty good time and getting some work done on this. It's kind of felt like such a big wall that actually being close to done with it, it feels kind of nice. It gets me kind of motivated once you start getting down to that, like, you know, 20 loops left or whatever. A couple of other things though that I don't know if it was ever really mentioned or anything like that on the forums, but kind of a big deal. You know, we were talking the other day, I guess it's been a couple weeks now. We were talking a couple weeks now about the system sniping and all of that, and how there was one particular dude that had sniped like 150 something systems, and you know, he'd been bragging about it on NR and all of this other stuff. You know, Gavin Magnus, he got banned. And they actually transferred ownership of all of the colonies that he had taken to the last owners of the chains that they were working on. Or I don't know how they did it, if it's just the nearest system or whatever. But yeah, if you were one of the snipers that had been affected by Gavin Magnus, please log back in, check your systems. You might actually own the system that you were trying to get originally. Now, it was kind of found out just kind of by accident from another commander, the owners of Mira. They had posted, you know, a big thread when it first happened with the snipe, and then they posted another thread on Reddit last night, a couple nights ago, talking about it. But it's not super apparent. Like, it doesn't mention in the title, like, hey guys, check this out. These systems are back. It was just kind of a random screenshot, and you had to click through to actually see what the deal was with it. But yeah, they were letting us know that, hey, the system is back. They had officially gotten ownership of it. So yeah, that's really cool. Congratulations to everyone affected. Hopefully, if they weren't just moved back to being unclaimed, they should have transferred ownership to the chain owners. So, you know, congratulations to everyone affected. I hope you got the system that you were originally aiming for. There are some issues. You know, I don't think they've ever really done anything like this. They banned commanders over colonization before, but I think they just made all their systems unclaimed when they did that originally. I don't remember them ever transferring ownership. And apparently the owners of Mira are having some issues with some very blatant botting that was taking place in the system. Like, Gavin had sniped the system, and then once the primary port was done, instantly placed down like 8 more installations, which is technically impossible under the colonization system, and a lot of them are invisible. So the new owners can't build anything yet. They put in the ticket to FDev. I'm sure they'll be able to get that sorted out. But just be aware there might be some weird issues with your systems if you did get transferred ownership. I mean, I can't believe that it went on this long. You know, I think anyone that knows how colonization works and just the general field of colonization out there right now could have told you there was botting going on. You know, that's what I mentioned and talked about a little bit with that last time that we mentioned this. Is it's like, okay, yeah, it's possible to build a lot of chains, and squadrons have, you know, these thousands of light year chains going on and stuff. But just the efficiency and the rate that he was sniping these, it would have been impossible without bots. They were all different directions of the bubble. He had almost 100% accuracy on sniping these things. Like basically, if he had a system that he wanted, he was gonna get it. And 152 of them plus. So, you know, there was very clearly something going on. But now that we've actually got people going into those systems as new owners and seeing like the lay of the land, I can't believe just how blatant it was. Like dropping 8 new installations like immediately after the primary's done. Like really? That was going on for that long and no one noticed. So yeah. But good on FDev for banning even the Inara profile he was using to brag about all of his new systems. Got yeeted. So yeah, that's kind of the big news, right? That's kind of the new thing going on. But yeah, I actually had a couple of neighbors that got sniped a couple of times by him actually, and then they just apparently just stopped playing the game. I haven't seen them trying to build anything new or log in or anything like that in a while. So hopefully if we can get the word out, some of these players that were affected that might have quit the game, hopefully they'll come back. And yeah, but good on FDev for getting that done. And of course, we've got the trees down in HIP 87621. I'm sure most everyone that is playing Elite or is even remotely in tune with everything down there have probably gone to check it out. I've got my 40-something contributions done on it. And decided to come back up here. I spent a little bit of time down in the bubble and tried to not just do the CG. I need to clean up some of my older systems, get the old froggies back into a good position after they got tanked a couple of different times due to the markets at some of my stations. So yeah, just going through doing some BGS cleanup and making sure we're not dropping out. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm curious what they mean by pharmaceutical applications and all of that with the new trees, how it's going to apply to the future content. I think it'll just end up being a basis for the operations or whatever story-wise. I wish it would be something cooler than that. I wish it would be something like, hey, terraformables can actually be terraformed now. That'd be really nice. It might be too big for what they want to do with it, but it's interesting. I think the new plants look cool. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with it, or if we're going to get those elsewhere in the galaxy. I should hope so. It seems kind of weird that they would put those trees and put all that work into just one system. If they do that, though, they do need to up the values on what they're worth. They're not worth very much at all. But I think a lot of that is just because of the CG. I'm sure they can fix the values once they're, once per planet only, instead of an eternal 10-foot loop that you're doing, right? It is still good money, though. I mean, a lot of people are looking at just the individual turn-ins, but the fact that you could just do the same 3 plants over and over again in the same loop in like 15 seconds... it's real good money. So we'll see. That's really the other big news. I don't think there's really been anything kind of wild that's happened since the last time we logged in. It was really just those 2 bits with the plants and with the sniped systems getting returned to their chains. So yeah, it's been mostly business as usual. I'm really wanting to get this thing done partially so I can move on to different systems, but also the Caspian is going to be coming out soon, and I really wanted to make sure that we are prepped and ready for that, because I think I am going to take a nice long trip out. I've been doing so much colonization that I haven't really had a chance to do most of what I think people know me for on the channel, which is going like way out there, right? So yeah, we'll be taking the Caspian out for a nice long spin. I don't know how long. I don't know where we're gonna go, but we're gonna go back out into the black. And yeah, I think it'll be fun. It's been a long time since we've explored. I want to hit those 10,000 first discoveries. I'm so close. I'm so close. I'll be able to do it on the next trip pretty easily, as long as I find some decent stellar density, I guess. But until they give us some more details about it, I don't really know what to expect. You know, I'd like to do a little bit more exobio, so it'll be kind of nice being able to do that. I'm kind of curious if that big loading bay on the bottom has anything to do with the new SRV at all. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. It's just yeah, we just don't have any details about it. But yeah, aside from that, it's been this and then the Deadlock stream the other night, which naturally the night after we ended up finishing Deadlock. Not a big patch that changed quite a few mechanics, actually. So I have not had a chance to hop in and check it out since they put the patch out. I don't know what to expect next time I log in. I've still got at least 2 fleet carriers of this that I gotta finish. So I need another almost 10,000 of this. Another 6,000. I'm at 12,931 is what I need of titanium. Okay. 12,930. I actually got to remember that. So I can switch over to aluminum and start finishing that out when it's time. As long as I can get a good parking spot, it's been pretty fast. Unfortunately, Wu Terminal, it likes to move around the planet quite a bit. This was not a bad parking spot originally. Then it decided to be one. But the last time I tried moving around, it just kept putting me at various spots behind the planet. So I just said, fuck it. We're done. I don't know. Ever since they did the orbital distance update, which also did a little bit of like lighting changes and stuff, it's just been so bad trying to get parking at a decent spot. Even if I'm like the only one here. I think there's 2 of us. Yeah, there's 2 fleet carriers trying to park at Wu Terminal. And yeah, there's no way to get it into a better spot on purpose. And it gets really annoying. Thankfully, I haven't had too many issues with my actual orbital construction site, which is kind of a surprise considering it's around a gas giant with rings. So that always gets to be a lot of fun, is dealing with those. But for whatever reason, it's been pretty good about putting me in a good spot there. Wu Terminal, I'm having issues with how much you move it around, man. we gotta slow it down a bit. We gotta slow that orbit. All right. So this week, I don't know how it's gonna go. Partially being the holiday week here in the States. Which, get this, you know, I was asking the other day, like, hey, how does my holiday time work since I technically work past the time change, right? Like, I'm overnight, so I work through the time change. So how does that work? And they were like, well, technically, you don't get any holiday pay because you clock in the night before. Even though you work 7 hours on Thanksgiving itself, you start your first hour the night before, so you don't get any holiday pay. So yeah, just all of the reasons this job fucking sucks, they just keep piling on. So yeah, we're just gonna see how it goes. I'm not a big Thanksgiving fan anyways, but obviously I want the money. I want the holiday pay. But because I'm working Thanksgiving, it also means I'm going to be working Christmas. So yeah, I don't get any holiday pay for either of those. Great, lovely, love to see it. All because I work 1 hour the day before. 7 of the 8 hours of my shift are on the holiday itself, but because of that 1 hour, I don't get any holiday pay apparently. So yeah, it sucks. I don't know what this week is gonna look like though. I say it every week that we're gonna try fitting in a bunch before or after my shifts, but God, I'm just so tired by the end of it. So I don't know how it's gonna go. We're gonna try our best, you know. But like I was saying, I'm not big on Thanksgiving. I don't really care about it all that much. So if you guys want to hang out and you want to stream something on Thanksgiving, I'm gonna try and do my best. It'll be a little bit easier to stay up for that day, if for no other reason than I'll have food to keep me up. Because that's the problem. That's probably the reason I'm so tired after a shift, is like I don't really have any kind of proper diet. Everything I get has to be basically a prepackaged meal from Walmart, right? It's all microwaved or reheated or whatever. So you know, it's some of that Thanksgiving food, which we always eat pretty early anyways. Maybe that'll help me stay up, and then we can do some stuff. And then the same thing for Black Friday. I don't know if you guys are planning on doing anything. It'll be interesting because I've worked most Black Fridays for a very long time, so I haven't really had one of the Black Fridays to actually go and do anything in a very, very long time. So you know, I might do that early morning or something, just if nothing else, to go see the crowds. Really nothing I plan on buying. Nothing that's not already on sale, I guess. But yeah, if you guys want to hang out and play some games, you know, I think winter sale isn't gonna be until like the week of Christmas through New Year's, right? Because they always like to start it a little bit before Christmas and then run it through the new year, so everyone can use those Steam gift cards that they give out, right? So I don't think there's anything in particular gaming wise that I was looking at getting at. But for winter sale, I'll probably end up getting, if it's on a good price, probably Stellar Blade. We'll see if I can wrangle that on the stream at some point. I really want to play it. I think it looks interesting, and I've heard so much about it, but I haven't actually seen a whole lot about the game itself. So that's been sitting on my wish list for a good while. Yeah, we might do something for the holiday, you know. It's always weird because I know a lot of you guys that watch are from the EU, so you know, Thanksgiving's kind of like whatever, right? But you know, it's always kind of chill as a streamer. You never know if you're going to have any people watching. Either everyone's going to be doing holiday stuff, or they've got nothing going on, but they have the holiday, so they sit and watch streams. So, you know, you don't really know how it's going to go. So we'll try and do something kind of chill. And obviously, you know, the 30th is technically my birthday, right? Yeah, I said I wanted to do something kind of fun as a birthday stream. Nothing like super huge like a lot of people I think are probably used to with VTuber stuff. Like, I don't have the 3D live thing. I would like to one day. I would like to be able to do 3D stuff and have like an actual birthday live. But you know, it might still be fun to just kind of come up with something to do for that day. I think it's next Sunday, so that, you know, that might be a bit of a problem. But maybe that Saturday night, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on how things look energy-wise, maybe we'll do just a really long stream. Maybe we'll just spend all night just streaming, playing games. Might have to break it up into a couple of different lives. Who knows? Play a bunch of different stuff. But we've been talking about doing an endurance stream for a while, and we've never gotten around to it. So, you know, with it being another birthday, I think it'll be kind of fun. I think it'll be just something to kind of look forward to. But, you know, it'll be chill. It'll be very relaxed. Not going to be a big event type of thing. But it'll be very in line with what we do here on the channel. Just, hey, celebrating the birthday, right? So I think that's something during the long hours staring into space that I spend at work. I'll try and get something sketched out, outlined in terms of what we can do for the weekend, and kind of celebrate all that. But you know, if I don't see you for the holiday, if you guys are out doing stuff, I hope you have a nice one. Hope you stay safe and enjoy your family. But here I got nothing. Here I got no plans. That's the life of the graveyard shifter. even when people are around, I don't really even get to see them because I'll be in bed. So it's just you guys. It's you and me, baby. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Then, you know, speaking of. You know, I say stay safe, and I do mean it. I've been driving out, like, obviously I go into work pretty late, and it's a fair drive, you know, 15-20 minutes across the country, across a bunch of county interstate, right? Man, there've been a lot of deer. There've been a lot of deer lately. You know, you don't really understand what it's like if you usually live like in a big city. But in the Midwest, there's a certain time of year when it gets to be real dark out, and you're just like hunched over the wheel, keeping an eye on the side of the roads. I almost crashed my car at least 2 or 3 separate times on the way to work the other night because they were right there at the edge of the road, and thankfully I noticed them in time, and they ran off in time. But I would have been posting some emergency notices on Blue Sky, real quick. So yeah, that's basically been all of my excitement. But the other thing is, it's getting really foggy. I like that. I like it when it's nice and foggy. I like it when it's still spooky season, even though spooky season is. You know what? Spooky season, it's in our hearts. It can be spooky season anytime we want. If it's foggy, you know, that's good enough for me. I'm fine with that. Actually, what kind of... Is Wu Terminal a refinery? I think it is. I haven't really been paying much attention to the interior, so I didn't really notice. But I think my water world system that I have out here, the one that I'll be working on after I'm done with this giant goddamn T3. I think it is a tourism interior, which is what I was really wanting. This T3, I don't know what it's gonna be. It's really, I just don't know. And because it's the primary. It's not the primary port, but it's the primary planetary port for the giant that I'm working on. So it should get strong links from all of the ports in the moons beneath it, if I'm understanding it right. So I'm real curious. This is going to be a good experiment for me because I haven't really thought too much about the different links and all of that. Most of what I deal with is just intraplanetary, like building a bunch of refineries to go to a surface port and getting my CMMs done. But for the most part, everything else has been pretty self-explanatory. If I want to get a certain commodity, it's really not that hard to figure out. So I haven't had to worry about it too much. But I do want to see if this is like what kind of links this is going to get from all of the moons below it, and see if I can get a couple of missing commodities this way, or if I really am going to have to spend the time to build a bunch of stupid spaceports above a bunch of planets with a bunch of surface hubs. Which I can do it. It's just, it's so much work. It's so much work. I just want to move to a different system already. I want to get some more work done. But with if everything works out, the good news is that means the Frogs of the Lagoon Gate will be a rainbow hub, which means you can get one of everything you need for your systems there. It might be a little low when it comes to some of the stuff that you need for tourism segments. You know, the fish and the wine and all of that. But all of that will be available in the nearby system. So I'm not super worried about getting all of that. I don't know how many people are actually building tourism settlements to begin with. I basically work towards a good old O'Mallaghan space bar, and that's about as far as I get, right? All right, I'm going to try and fit as much as I can, because I really don't want to have to make a third trip out here. I want to get this done in the next 2 trips. Thankfully, unloading ever since they changed up the transfer. And they fixed the bug with that, by the way, so it doesn't overshoot and lock you out. But yeah, ever since they added that and fixed the bug with it, it has been a godsend. It has made things so much faster getting unloaded and out to my construction site. It's kind of amazing. It takes me almost no time to unload at all. It's really amazing. All right, let me bring up the old Windows calculator. All right, what do we got? 1. All right, I'll have to do some math next time. Next time we go back. See where we're at. Here we go. We're getting close. I always do it by exact measurements in tons. I don't want any overflow. I don't have enough space on the FC to really deal with that. If I don't do exact numbers, then I'm gonna overshoot and just have stuff sitting around. And like, yeah, I'll get to use it for the next build or whatever, but I don't want to do that. I want to get this one done. Sometimes I'll double it up if I'm just doing like comm stations or something like that. Satellites. You can get 2 of those on one fleet carrier. That's fine. And of course, I won't even get to see the fruits of my labor for like another several days. Yeah, this is an industrial or a tourism interior. Doesn't look like a refinery. It doesn't have the big gas tanks. Might be an industrial, which is weird because I think it is a refinery economy. But they've had some issues lately with the interiors not updating to whatever the new economy is, so that could be it too. Yeah, I think the refineries, they have the big tanks and stuff, don't they? I thought they did. I could be making it up. Actually, don't think I've got too many refinery interior stations, like big stations like this. Most of them that I build, if I'm building a T2, it better be above like an interesting. It better be above an interesting planet. Or at the very least, it should be in an interesting system that would justify it. In this case, I don't have really any interesting planets. And I think the one that I built over there is... I think it's an industrial. I'd have to look. It's a refinery or industrial. Great hub. But since it is, you know, the entry to the lagoon, I should try and build something nice, right? Yeah, all of my others, they're, you know, around Earth-likes or water worlds and all kinds of stuff. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with a couple of the other big systems that I've got. Last time I went down to the bubble, I realized that I had kind of a cool water world. It's a hip system. There really is not a whole lot of build spots in it. that are really worth anything. But the main planet is a water world that's like 6 Earth masses. I'm like, okay, maybe I should try and build something kind of interesting in here. I don't know what yet. I guess I'll just have to go in and figure it out. But yeah, I got to figure out what I'm doing with a couple of these others. Like I said, I don't want them to just kind of like sit there not having anything in them, right? Yeah, let's take a look here in a second. See what our options are. Now the problem with the one that's down near the bubble, with the big beefy water world, is I don't think I ever converted that one over to my squadron. That one was one of those that I made with plans to convert it over, and then people had already moved so far out of the bubble that I was like, man, well, I don't want to stay this close then. I want to go out and explore, right? And so so I kind of left it and moved elsewhere, and then, you know, started making the squadron's new mini bubble. But you know, now that I'm kind of situated, now that I'm kind of fine with colonization at this point. I'll never be faster than a lot of these guys making chains, so I'll just kind of go where they go, and if I have to set everything on fire to start a war, that's fine, I guess. It takes me 3 days to do it. It's cool. It's just busy work, right? Yeah, let me take a look here. Which one were you? I think you were this one. Take a look here. Yeah, it should be this one. No, it's not this one. Oh, this is my ringed water world though. Oh, I need to do something with that. I need to do something with that. Why haven't I done anything with this system? Oh yeah, that's right. This is the one that's next to Bear Hub. Yeah, I dropped a couple things down, and then we didn't get anything done with it. Okay. Yeah, what all do I have being built in there? Yeah, quite a bit. See, I can do a little work there, but see, it's still so close to the bubble that I'm just kind of like, it's fine, I guess. All right. But, you know, I also know a lot more about colonization now, which changes up quite a bit. I think it's this one. 5A4. Yeah, I never switched this one over. Okay. There's not even really been anyone in there. But yeah, look at this big boy. Got a Coriolis around it, so I could probably get it done. Takes me about 2 days to build a Coriolis, if I'm like really pushing it. Ugh. Wrong one. There we go. I go over here. All right. Take a look at this big boy. See, there's not really a whole lot of build slots. Couple little things. But this is kind of a cool water world. That's a chunky boy. That's a big boy. So yeah, I don't know. It would have been nice if this got some build slots on it, but no luck. There's just really not a whole lot that I can build. Build some industrial, I guess. Yeah, all of these are just a bunch of rocks. Rocks with like single things on them. How did I even get... Oh, I've actually got stuff built on all 3 of those. That's how. Huh, I don't think I ever realized I actually finished those. Okay, well that's something. Yeah, it kind of sucks just leaving a big old water world like that. I'd like to get something done with it. I've got so much stuff to do out here. How's Bear Hub been holding up anyways? 41.0 million. All right. You've been doing some work, Bear Hub. Also, how come I don't have access to my own system in the map? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. There we go. It was just thinking. It was just thinking. I don't think I ever converted this one over either. Yeah, we're so close. We're so close. I could flip that real quick. Maybe do that next time I'm down. We'll just have to wait and see if anyone messes around with it anymore. I got Bear Hub, Boss Settlement. I don't think I've got any other big things. But yeah, this one was kind of an interesting system. Maybe build an ag hub or something like that. I need to go back and take a look and see what all I was doing with this. Once I got that, this was my first asteroid base. So once we got the asteroid base, I really didn't think too much about anything else. That was really all I was worried about. Right? That's kind of interesting. That shows you the height offset from the rest of the ring. Huh. I don't think I've ever really noticed that either. Cool. All right. So what do we got here? All right. So 12,931 minus a 10,384, 2,547. So it's going to be like 2.5 runs. 2.5 runs left. Can I fit it? Yeah, I can just barely fit it in there, and then whatever I can hold in the tank on old Bartolo here. Okay. Back up we go. We'll get it done. Slowly but surely we're gonna get there. I mean, if I have to, I still have to finish the ceramic composites and the CMMs. So I've been holding that off till the end because I'm going to do that all in system. One, I don't want to buy from my in-system settlement because it is owned by another faction. So I don't want to have to deal with that. And then the other thing is, it's just a lot of surface landing. So I don't like doing it if I don't have to. But honestly, if I need to set off another war and deal with that, I'm not entirely opposed to doing it. That way I can flip some assets and hopefully take over that surface port and get it aligned with the faction that I want. Because that's what everyone's going to, is the surface port, because it's got the CMMs and emergency power cells. So I need to flip it at some point. It might be easiest just to go ahead and do it now. Just go ahead and set off the war. And then really any issues that I have from there on out with trade influence shouldn't be an issue. But I built so much here that I'm kind of worried that if I do that, it's just it's gonna put up a settlement that I don't really care about. That's the war prize, right? When I really need it to be that surface port. It's very annoying. It's very tedious. Really what it is. It's just a lot of tedious work. All right. Let's watch as this kills my frame rate again. Yeah, I think we're doing all right. You, I don't know what I'm going to do about you. Was the primary around the water world? That was. I kind of wasted one of the slots, but that's fine. Yeah, that's the one that I really want to get to work on. Yeah, outside of that, I don't know what else I really want to do with Frogs of the Lagoon Gateway. There's obviously a lot of places I can build, but what am I going to build? That's the question. Like, I'm not going to go through and fill up all 105 slots. That's not going to happen. Just full stop. It's not going to happen. But I'd like to build something kind of cool down here. I think that might be neat. Another ice world and get some more refineries up and running, I guess. Build something to go out here. But aside from that, it's a very plain system. The other system that I've got, the one that I want to work on, That one's got the water world and the 4 terraformables. I think it's just a much more interesting system to interact with. Oh, there it goes. There it goes, my frames. There they go. All because I opened the system map. That's what I get. That was my mistake. It's just so weird. Like, they did that lighting update and reverted all of the stuff that they had done to fix everything, right? Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get this done. Ooh, I will only need 1 more trip, apparently. So that's nice. Then I'll be down. I'll be down to the wire. I'm getting into that part where I can like almost taste it. I can almost see the ending. The problem is I tend to like make a lot of really dumb mistakes. Yeah, tend to make a lot of really dumb mistakes once I start getting down that low. I start losing my mind, man. Okay. It is Saturday night. I wonder what else is going on out there. I know is tonight. I think Flowglow is having their 3D live, aren't they? So I imagine, you know, we got a lot of the VTuber fans out watching that too. It's been a busy couple of nights with streams. There's been a lot that I've wanted to watch. Some of it I was kind of interested in, some of it eh. But I'm glad Flowglow is getting there. So I need to watch more of them. And see, the problem with some of the other VTubers that I watch is that it's very dependent on who gets clips. Because if I don't see clips of them, it's kind of like I kind of forget about them, right? Or obviously I don't speak Japanese, so that doesn't help. I know it's kind of ironic having me say, "Hey, you should watch some clips. Maybe I should do some self-reflection on that," right? But no, with a lot of the JP VTubers, if they don't have clips at some, there's just so many of them that I kind of forget about them. But I do like them. I like Vivi a lot. I saw she went skydiving the other night, continuing Polka's trend of doing just absolutely ridiculous things. That was a lot of fun. But I really do like them, so I'm glad that they're getting their big lives. Very excited to see what they can do in the future, and hopefully start getting some more collabs in. I've enjoyed watching VV Pecora collabs and seeing what kind of stuff they get up to. All right. I don't know. Maybe should I play some League of Legends? Should I do that? Should I join the crowd on that? I don't even know what happened to my old account. I've got it sitting around somewhere. Who knows? I've probably got to do like a lot of authentication to get it back. But you know, I played it back in the day. I've got some old skins that aren't available anymore. But I feel like at this point, in terms of MOBA, like it's all deadlock for me. I just can't imagine playing League of Legends when I could just play Deadlock instead, right? We're gonna be cutting this close. We're gonna be cutting this real close. Unfortunately, I think it means I'm not gonna have enough to take all of the aluminum in one trip. I might have to buy a little bit at my end system refinery, but that's okay. It's fine. It's right next to the build site, so even though it's kind of annoying doing the landing stuff, it doesn't go that slowly. The landing takes almost as long as it does to travel between the planet and the build site, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I've already hauled almost 30k CMMs from it, and another, what, 12k ceramics, whatever I needed. So it's not like I haven't done a ton of it. It's just annoying. I hate doing it if I don't have to. But you know, we can hop up there and do a little bit of that while we're waiting for the old Yosemite to transfer over. But it'll be nice once it's done. You know, I don't know what the views are going to be like. I kind of wish I had a better spot to put this T3. The gas giant itself is kind of cool. It's a big white ghost. Some cool, like, streaks. But I don't really think you get a good view of the nebula. So, you know, with some of these surface ports that I'm building in it, I'd really like to get some good views of the nebula, especially on that ringed ice world. I think I can find a decent spot for that and see what I can build there. A lot of it's also going to depend on what I actually get with this T3. Like, yeah, it's kind of an experiment to see what I get, but like I do genuinely need a spaceport that gives me the steel and all of that. That's really what I want, is a refinery space hub, so that I don't have to worry about going down to the planet. If I can get steel and all of that in system, that will make in space, that makes things so much easier. It is purely landing on the planet that I hate. That I hate more than anything else. I hate surface landings, man. I absolutely hate doing it. It just takes up so much extra time. It's an extra load screen that I don't want to have to deal with. Yeah, it looks seamless, but it's not. It's a hidden load screen. And so you're effectively doubling the amount of time that it takes compared to an orbital. So I really, really hope this T3 does pick up a little bit of that refinery stuff from my surface port, so that I can finally get steel and all of that actually in space. And with the population boost that it gets, I don't think I'm gonna have any trouble with the supply. All right, so I need 1249, and I just get like 50 aluminum. Not great, but that's fine. That's okay. It's a start. There we go. Cool. So that's another one done. So we're down to just the last few. We're down to the last few. I'll go ahead and set this thing off into space. Man, if I did not fill up on tritium before I came back out here, I would have had enough space to do all of the aluminum in one more run. But no, I'm going to be like just short. Just short. So that's fine. I'll just pick up the rest in system. Even if I have to do some annoying surface landings, it's fine. It's okay. There we go. I don't know why it takes so long to kick me back to the carrier management screen sometimes. Servers be wild lately. I don't know. It's been acting up on some very weird stuff. Going to the galaxy map, that's lag. Landing at a surface port, that's some more lag. That lighting update, I don't know what they reverted. It was so weird because they had it all fixed. They had it all fixed. It was running so well. And then they did the lighting update and it messed everything back up. So hopefully they can get it fixed again. We'll see. All right. So how much do I need anyways? I need almost 4,000 CMMs and like 3,300 ceramic composites. So that's not too bad. That's doable. We can get that pretty quickly. Like, what is that? 6 trips? I think it's got like 5.64 listed on my pages. All right, here we go. Now let's take a look. 5.64. 69. Nice. Nice. All right. I'm still using the Odisco. I tried setting up Raven Colonial the other day. And I was like, nah, enough of this. Enough of this busy work. I've already got a spreadsheet that works fine for me. Yeah, I think a lot of people use Raven Colonial just because it has like the leaderboards and stuff. I don't know. I tried watching the McCann video and it's just such a dumb video. It spends like half an hour telling everyone to use this app but doesn't explain what it is or how to set it up until like 30 minutes into it. Yeah, I don't know. He's good for news. I don't really listen to him when it comes to the guides and all of that. Not a very good creator. I hate talking smack about other creators, but I don't know. If you're doing a video on Raven Colonial, the very first thing you should be talking about is how to set the damn thing up. All right. Cool. All right, so we're gonna send you off. Goodbye, friend. I will see you there. All right. Am I even gonna be able to yeet myself, or is this behind the planet? Hey, look at that. Look at that. I don't have to go around anywhere. All right, take me out of Masslock. Come on. It's so weird because I've been doing a lot of my mission running in my T8 of all things. I really have kind of come around on the T8. It's such a neat little ship. The only thing that kind of holds it back from being a pure mission runner is the fact that I don't really have it loaded with any weapons. Like, I've got my Corsair. That thing's loaded with Suprags. That one's got the pacifiers on it. It's a good little mission runner. But the T8 does a lot of the same things the Corsair does, just more cargo. So I'm able to do a couple more missions at a time. And yeah, I really like it. But the thing that surprises me about it and what I've been using it for is that it's very easy to forget just how fast the T8 is. For something that was labeled as like a hauler, like boosting at 500 plus is pretty nice. I can't lie. I've really liked using it. But the downside is, after doing a bunch of missions with it and then hopping back in the Panther, the Panther's like, it sounds like you're setting off nukes behind you whenever you boost, but you're only going like 350 tops. Like, it's got such a good sound effect for such a slow roll. It's such a big slow frog. All right. Let's get a little bit of this pecked away at. I mean, theoretically, if I need to do the rest of the aluminum here, like I said, it might not be the worst thing in the world to set this system back onto war. I don't know if this is updated yet. The tick's been real weird in some of the colonies, so we'll take a look. Yeah, I mean, I can close that gap in one day. That's really not a problem at all. The problem is, like, I'm not opposed to kicking them out, but I don't want my faction to be the only faction in the system, because then that basically sets it up for just a chain of expansions in a row. And we're very careful with our expansions. We do a lot of planning on where our expansions and stuff come from and where they are going to end up. So if we have a wayward system out in the middle of nowhere that goes into expansion, it kind of pushes back a lot of the planning that we do. And like the way the expansion works is like, theoretically, if you can knock yourself down to be the only ones in the system, right? Theoretically, you can do it. Because in these colonies, none of these are native factions, right? So you can get them down. So it'll go into permanent expansion. And then it does that for like a cycle of like 4 or 5 times. And then after that, it goes into a permanent investment state. So it wouldn't be permanent. It wouldn't be a permanent expansion. It would be it'd be like 4 or 5 weeks of expansion. But that's still with all of the work that we do, that's still a lot that I don't want to have to deal with. Am I building a starport? Yeah, I'm trying to finish up this T3. Trying to finish up the gate, the frog gate to the lagoon. We'll see how it goes. We're almost there. Wow, why is my frame rate dying like that? I didn't hit the galaxy map. Why are you doing that? We're only supposed to do that when I do something basic with the UI. Oh. Yeah, we're getting there. I've got the rest of the titanium loaded onto the FC. It's making its way into the system. So I'm just gonna peck away at some of the small stuff, and then after that it's just aluminum. After that it'll be just 16,000 aluminum, and then I'll be done. This is, God, when did I even plop this thing down? It's got to be a couple of months at this point. But you know, I plopped it down. I built those 2 other systems. I built up the other Waterworld system. So, you know, we got a lot of building done. It's just not a whole lot of progress on the T3. So it'll be nice to get this done. I really don't want to have to do it again. I really don't. And like, at this point, I'm not opposed to buying a dodec. But like, I don't want to burn the instant. I don't want to burn the single instant, like, port placement on a system. Just like kind of around a bunch of systems, right? Like, if I'm gonna burn the instant drop, it's got to be something special. It's got to be something really cool. Either black holes or, I don't know, ringed Earth-like, something like that, right? It's got to be my perfect system. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, see how things go. But I am real curious what the population is going to be like in here. You know, it'll get the nerf. It'll get the nerf stats, since they changed all of that around. But it also doesn't have like a really unique planet. It's just a gas giant. So that's, you know, whatever. But this will definitely be, I think, one of the bigger systems that I built. Because it's already got the Coriolis. It's already got the T1 surface port. I'm curious. I am curious how much this thing's going to grow. Probably less than I expect, but more than I really need. Right? All right, CMMs. What do I got here? This I actually gotta get the old calculator out to keep track. This one's only gonna be 2 or 3 runs, so 2, 6, 9, 3 left after this. All right, so that's a start. That's a start. And yeah, I've got emergency power cells here. Not a ton, but it's a start. That's the nice thing with a lot of these refinery planets, is that a lot of them have at least some kind of industrial pulled in. Like, I think I did this. This is a rocky planet, right? I think it is. God, if I check. I want to say it's either an HMC or a rocky planet. So it has like the industrial native, right? Where am I? Oh, it actually is an ice world. Okay, okay. Nice, nice. I'll take that. Cool. Alright, so in that case, I don't know where the industrial got pulled in. Maybe I built an industrial settlement somewhere that I forgot about. I built so much on these planets that I don't even really pay attention to them. Like, you don't really go down to your surface ports at all. Or your surface settlements and hubs, unless, like, you got a mission that takes you down there. The surface ports you can use. Those get some use. But the little hubs and all of that, it's kind of like, eh, whatever. Alright. Hey, look at that. I actually did it on first tap. I've been having that issue again lately where I tap it and then it doesn't do anything. Then I overshoot by a couple light seconds. The nice thing is, once I get this built and see who the owner is, if it ends up being my faction, then I can go ahead and rename it. But I can't name it the Frogs of the Lagoon if the frogs don't actually get they don't actually get the base. How's that work? All right, come on. Come on. You got this. You got this, man. Going around this big ass planet. It is a cool gas giant. Like a white ghost. With some piss streaks in there. All right. Cool. Now where's the needle going to be pointing? Ah, straight down. Okay. Of course it is. Of course it is. And of course I am right behind the lights. Auto land usually won't give you trouble if you are pointed towards the needle and going at the gap between the lights. If you're coming in from behind the lights, that's where a lot of people have issues with the auto dock. Yeah, I think if I come in from here, I think that'll be fine. We'll see. Because yeah, the way these things are designed, like these are all in the gaps between the lights. And then same with the needle is if you're coming in from the gaps, then you should be able to go around the needle a little bit. But yeah, if you're coming in from right behind the lights, you're gonna run into them, and not a great thing when you take your shields off the Panther. But you know, it is a lot of fun coming in sometimes because there's no fire zone, right? So sometimes you get some pirates that get a little spicy, and they like to shoot at you, and then immediately get blasted by this thing. There's no fire zone, but this thing is still locked and loaded and ready to shoot anything that comes at you. Thankfully, it hasn't been a problem even without the shields. They get me down to like 80% tops. I'm not opposed to getting like some better hull on this thing. The last time I did that, I didn't realize that it cost like 600 million to put reactive composite on this thing. I wasn't even looking. I was just like, yeah, I can afford anything in the game, right? And I look at it and I was like, oh, that was half of my entire bank. All right, well, I gotta refund that. All right, how much time until this thing comes in? All right, well, we can go ahead and head on over there then. Get me in a good spot. Yeah. It's been putting me here lately. I don't know why. I've been getting the same parking spot over and over again around this building site. But it's only been the past few times. The first half, it was putting me like right here, right? And that was really nice. That was a really good spot. I don't know why it changed. Like some of them, if you're building like an asteroid base or you're building like an extraction hub, like one of the ones that will go inside the ring itself, then those construction sites move around with the ring, if the ring has any orbit at all. But a big T3 like this, I've noticed it does not spin around with the rings. It has just a set spot underneath it. And yeah, you know, that can be really nice for parking your FC. But then sometimes it just gets in a string that's just like really annoying. This one, it's not too bad. It's like a straight shot. It just, as you can see, gets really slow with SCA on. Sometimes I'll boost it just to get through it. Sometimes I just want to be lazy, not worry about it. But yeah, it's really weird with how it acts up sometimes. But I guess I should be thankful that at least it's putting me on the right side of the gas giant, which is better than I could say for some of the other things that I built in the middle of rings. The other thing is, this week I got very, very close to the 4 million income. Woo, buddy. 4 million income a week. That's literally one load from my FC. But that does mean that we're doing pretty well with the colonization. I'm up to what, 20 colonies or something like that? It's somewhere around 20. So yeah, it's definitely a lot. There's a couple of different ways you can go about it. A couple of my squad mates, they're going for population and just the biggest system that they can. I get too pressured with wanting to move on to do that, but I do build them up a decent amount. So I've got a lot that are in like, you know, the 20 to 40 million range. So they've got, you know, Coriolis and stuff built. So it just kind of gives you an idea what you need to hit that 5 million a week before you start getting taxed on it. So we're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yeah, so right at 20. So yeah, it's a fair amount of building. If you want to get the 5 million a week, you gotta put some work in. But I think that's a good sign for our progress, and just, you know, figuring out the colonization and getting some good systems out there for people to visit. It has been nice seeing people actually visit some of the things that I've been building. And that's why I put them out there, right? No fun just building something if no one's going to go visit it. Yeah, this other system that I'm going to be working on, once this thing is done and start working on that water world, like I do put in a lot of thought to like where I'm putting the settlements and where I'm going to be putting the surface stuff, because I do want it to look really nice. I want it to look cool. You know, if you're going to come and visit or you need something for commodities there, it would be nice if you had a cool view while you're doing it. So this one, it'll have a kind of a view of the nebula, I guess. It's going to depend on where the entrance is pointing. The entrances almost always point towards the planet, but sometimes it gets a little weird with that. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'll have to wait and see what it looks like when it's built. But, you know, if you do come out facing that way, you'll have a nice view of the nebula coming out of the mail slot. And that's really the important part, is I want people to come out here and have a good view of it. It is getting pretty built up out here. You know, they did all that work to get out to Trifid, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of people building out in Trifid yet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Like, this seems like it's going really easily. My bad. Here we go. Yeah, see, this is a much better position of approach, so you can avoid getting knocked around with auto dock. Okay, there it is. Up there somewhere. Take a look. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah, if it does face the planet, you'll get a nice view of the nebula coming out that way. All right. See, there they go. There they go. They try. They try. But it never ends well for them. Goodbye. Pay for effort. Oh, there's two of them that time. Ooh, they gave him a little wing. They're getting smarter. All right, you. God, I can't wait to be done with this. We're probably not going to finish it on stream, I'll be honest. We'll probably end up finishing it off stream. I don't know how long my voice is going to hold up. Not that I even really have to use my voice at work. That is one of the nice things about the graveyard shift, is that I don't have to talk. It is several hours straight of just resting my voice and reading a book, and that's really about it. So, you know, unlike the bookstore, it doesn't kill me going into work and then trying to stream. So, you know, we'll keep streaming as long as I can and see how long my voice holds up. Yeah, it does a decent amount of work getting me through the gravity well there. But that's still a lot of hauling. I've figured it out that I do about, if I'm really pushing it, I do about 10,000 an hour. Depending on parking spots, depending on, you know, a lot of factors, right? But about 10,000 an hour. And that's both there and the return trip, right? So that's both loading and unloading, which I feel like is a pretty good rate, right? I feel like 10,000 an hour is a pretty good rate, considering you got to move the FC and all of that stuff. The auto land and all of that. I could probably push it to be a little bit faster if I really, really wanted to. I just have to play around a little bit. So, you know, it's not the end of the world building it like a Coriolis or something like that. Those I can get done in a night or two. Primary port Coriolis, that takes a little bit longer. That debuff that you get, don't underestimate the 35% debuff. It's pretty rough. Ow, what is going on with the frames? This is what I get for trying to stream. It mostly does it whenever I load into a new instance, right? That seems to be the case. Loading into a new instance is what does it. Something with the lights. I don't know what. All right, where is the planet? Are you the planet there? Are you the big black void? Okay. As long as I know where the planet is, I know where I can boost out there. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, and do kind of a... You gotta kind of do a little parabola there to get through it. There's your $10 word, right? Sure, some of the spreadsheet nerds are going, well, actually, it's not a parabola. Get out of here. We don't put up with Microsoft Excel chat here on my channel. You know that by now. We gotta move around a little bit here. Alrighty. Ooh, I might need to maneuver this one a little bit more. I think I came in too low. Yeah, I came in too low. There we go. Just stop that. There we go. All right, just get past the lights. Guide it on in. All right, anyone else gonna scan me? Anyone else? No? No? All right. I do wonder when we're gonna start getting some information about the Caspian, though. You know, now that we no longer have the frontier unlocked, I'd like to see what they're thinking for the internals and the announcement as far as like what the special module is going to be and all of that. I think a lot of people are really looking forward to it. I think just the Star Trek design of it all has really kind of hyped people up. It is a very, very cool looking ship. But I'd like to know like what makes it so great for an explorer. Right? Like if they're gonna be like, they're basically saying like, hey, we just came out with an Explorer with a Mandalay, so here's a new one. Like, what makes it so special that we would want to like decommission the Mandalay already? Like, it's got to be something different, right? It's got to be something a little different. They said a lot of surface landing, so I would assume something to do with like doing the exobios stuff. Because the Mandalay, like, that's the weird part with exploration is you can kind of do it in any ship. In the Mandalay, I mean, it lands well enough as it is. So yeah, I'm just curious what they're planning with it. Because it would be kind of interesting if they do have the Caspian as like your exo-bio ship. And the Mandalay is more of like your deep space explorer, right? When you go out there and do all your FSS scanning on and all of that. I just don't know. I don't know what they're planning. I don't know what they're thinking with all of it. But I did go through, you know, it kind of inspired me. I saw that on Netflix, all of the Star Trek movies are up. Not the classic ones, you know, the new remake ones. Some people are like, ew. I like them. You know, I forgot how good the first Star Trek remake was. Well, I guess they say it's a remake. It's technically an AU, right? But I really, really liked it. I didn't remember a whole lot about the second one with Khan. And I enjoyed that one. The third act is a little silly. But I liked that one. And then Beyond, I actually really liked Beyond. But I would have to say that Star Trek Beyond is not a good movie. In fact, it's actually a very bad movie. But I think it is a very good extended episode of a Star Trek series. There's really just no other way to describe it. But that is how it felt like, right? And not just like story-wise or anything like that. I think the story is... It's okay. It's got some issues. It's got some plot holes. How did they get so many B ships? Because it doesn't look like they've got that many. Doesn't look like they've got that many people living in their colony, right? So why do they have so many ships? But aside from that, like the budget, the acting, the script, it all felt like an extended episode of a series. And I actually did enjoy it from that perspective. But I would say in terms of filmmaking, it could have been better. You can kind of tell that Simon Pegg, he's a bit of a Trekkie. He did put a lot of love into like some of the small things with it that I did enjoy. Yeah, the first one though, like it's a movie. I really liked the first of the Star Trek remakes. It's much better than I remember going back and rewatching it. I think they're leaving Netflix soon though. I wish they could get the rights to put the series back up. I know Paramount Plus likes putting the series up on their platform because that's their big money maker. Fairly sure half the people on Paramount Plus right now are subscribed because of Star Trek. But I do want to finish DS9. I wish Netflix could get the rights to the shows so I can finish that up. But you know, I've still got a lot of Babylon 5 I gotta watch too, so I've got more than enough to keep me occupied if they can't do it. I got into what, season 4? Was it season 4 of DS9? Before it ended up leaving Netflix and I wasn't able to watch any more of it. It was season 4 or 5. I got about halfway through it. But if I watched it again, I'd probably watch it from the beginning. Because there's already quite a bit that I've kind of forgotten. Some of the nuances with what's going on with the Cardassians and all that. I know that obviously a war kicks off. I had not gotten to that point yet. We were still figuring out everything with his daughter, so nothing had happened to kind of kick things off with that. Yeah, I want to finish it. I don't know. I've just been in a very Star Trek and just sci-fi mood lately, but like really cheesy sci-fi, like very 90s sci-fi. Give me the prosthetic makeup and some bad special effects, and I'm ready to go. I saw that Amazon is doing a new Stargate series. I don't know what is, as one of my Discord friends put it, like what's a level below cautious optimism? Like you don't quite hate the idea, but you're also not quite cautiously optimistic about it because it is Amazon that's doing it. So you never know, even if it does well, if it's going to get more seasons, right? So like, where's that middle ground? That's kind of where I'm at. But if I can find the original Stargate, that one might be on Roku or Tubi or something like that. It's been a long time. That's another one of those shows that I just kind of vaguely remember being on all the time on reruns and on TV that I never actually sat down and watched because I was too young. I was like, no, I want to watch Doug. I want to watch Nickelodeon. I want to watch Cat Dog, right? Now that I'm older, I really want to watch Stargate. So I need to see where that's available at. See if I can throw that one into the old watching rotation while I'm doing some hauling. When you haul as much as I do, you go through series really fast, man. I need more series. It can't keep up. All right. Well, it's going to be an interesting view. I'm curious what this is going to look like once it's done. Here we go. Like, once you get around the planet, you get a really nice view of it. It's a proper gate to the nebula. But where it's located now, maybe might be able to get some cool screenshots with the planet in the foreground. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what it looks like, see where the entrance is pointed, all of that. See who even gets station ownership. That's the big question. All right. Put down a space bar, and old O'Mallagans franchising out further than they've ever franchised before. And what do we got there? Is that a planet in my system, or is that a black hole back there? It looks like a black hole to me. I can't tell where it is in relation to the nebula, because I don't remember the nebula really having one. There's a couple kind of sitting around the outside. I might need to go and do some sightseeing. I haven't really looked around too much. I haven't looked around my new home all that much. Especially if I do end up going out and just building like a little colony out near Trifid. You know, I don't know how much of an attachment I'm going to have to the place. Like, yeah, the Trifid is pretty much next door, right? It's really not that far out. But like, man, when you're doing deep space exploration, that extra 1,000 light years, yeah, it can make a pretty big difference to where you want to start out your journey. That's a lot of ground you don't have to worry about with the FC. Bunch of already discovered systems, so you can just kind of skip by. But yeah, like I said, they really had not built up all that much out there. I think a lot of people were excited for the lagoon, and then Trifid's just kind of like, if I make it out there, I make it. They've got a few more systems than they had before, but it's still not a ton. I think a lot of it's also just because it's a smaller one, right? Like I said, I went out here, tried to explore around it a little bit. I just really couldn't find anything. It's really worth it to me. Same with the Omega. I like the skybox a lot more because I like that kind of blue look to it. But in terms of like what you've actually got in them, I just didn't find all that many in terms of interesting systems. There aren't as many water worlds. There's not as many Earth likes. It's a lot of brown dwarfs. And that's not to say brown dwarfs are always bad, because like one of my best systems out here is a Tauri star, right? Like I don't want to skip them completely. But even then, it was a bunch of like low build slot stuff. I didn't see anything that really jumped out at me as being like, oh, I need to get there like in that first rush, right? If I go out and build, it'll just be because it's got a nicer skybox. But you know, the Lagoon Nebula is a lot more on theme for being a froggy, right? If the frogs are going to go anywhere out in deep space, it's got to be the Lagoon. So I do want to put some more work in out here. All right. Let's do this. Move around a little bit. Try and get a better angle. Nice. All right. Try and go in from a higher approach this time. All right, there we go. We're gonna get any pirates? We're gonna get any? They're gonna do it? Doesn't look like it. I don't see anything out the chat. No one's getting spicy. It is weird that these things don't have a no-fly zone, though. I mean, yeah, it's funny when you see the space just go off, when you see the port go off on a bunch of NPCs, but yeah, they should probably just go ahead and add a no-fly zone to it. I guess since it's just temporary, they just decided it would be too much work to add one. All right, we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. Slowly but surely. God, it's so much work. It's just a lot of nothing, right? I like hauling. You guys know that at this point. I like living that space trucker lifestyle, but it's still a lot. I'm just thinking of all of the work I could have gotten done, either for new systems or to build up another one in my system for the same price as building this one T3. I mean, the nice thing is I didn't have a time limit this time. That first one we built, getting it done in a month in a cutter before the Trailblazers even existed. Yeah, that was a thing. That's what unemployment will do to you. I don't think I've got the time to do that a second time. Like at this point, if I do find a system that's worth getting a primary T3, I think I'm just going to buy the dodec. I'll just bite the bullet and do it. But I'm hoping I don't need to. Like, I want to take some time and explore a little bit and hope colonization gets a little bit further out. Because if I want to, like, buy an instant drop station, I'm not opposed to doing it. I just want a different design. I want a different looking space station, and the dodec does just absolutely nothing for me, right? It's just a bigger Coriolis is all it looks like. Yeah, you can go full porcupine and kill anyone that tries auto docking if you want on it. I think that's kind of silly. It's funny. It looks like garbage with all 10 noob hammers on it, but just the basic design itself doesn't do much. I'd like to see different design stations. If I'm going to buy one, I want it to have a cool look, and it's just, the dodec doesn't. It's just another Coriolis to me. So yeah, I'm hoping I can go out once they release the Caspian, do a little bit of exploring, maybe do a little bit of expansion, start going out to some new spots with my colonies while I'm here, and kind of take my time a little bit, and then see what they drop in the future. Because you know the dodec's not going to be just the only one. Like, you know they're going to be introducing more, but are they going to have different looks? Are they going to have something unique? I imagine the next one they drop is going to be the weird single orb with no tail to it. I'm not super excited about that either. But yeah, I'd like to see some more interesting stations now that they know they can do it. I mean, I'm not going to... I don't want it to sound like it's not a lot of work, because it is. You know, you don't really notice it when you've been doing this for hours upon hours at a time. But the stations have a lot of detail to them. When you start flying around and really looking at the paneling and some of the textures and stuff, they put a lot of work into what those stations look like. So I don't want to like undermine the amount of work that it takes to build a completely new design station, right? But yeah, there's a lot of little details. Just next time you're out, If you want to do some, terror taxi runs for BGS or something, go outside and take a look around your Coriolis and really look at some of the details of the architecture. Because it is really cool. They did do a very good job with it. So, I don't know how much work it would take to build something that's got a completely new design. But I hope they get there eventually. That's kind of the next thing on my wish list. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. I don't know how Operations is going to do, but most of the features they've added in so far and most of the updates seem like they've been pretty good. It's just, at this point, I'm pretty happy with where things are at. There's always going to be balance and stuff that we could worry about. Fixing some of the numbers with systems that they've added in. But in terms of new features, I'm pretty happy with everything. But, if we're going to go wish list stuff, then yeah. New station type would be kind of cool. Not even type, just another design would be neat. And then really the only other thing that I can think of would just be like some different particle effects in space, which is something I mentioned just about every stream. As a long-term explorer, I'd like to see the particle effects doing something kind of unique, Once you have gone into a couple neutron stars and you've seen it and you've been amazed and wowed, right? Once you've done that a few hundred times, you kind of start to see the cracks at the seams, right? And how like a lot of those just don't interact with each other. And I would like it if they kind of reverted some of the light changes that they made with Odyssey, so we get some of the cool colored lights and stuff back out. Some of those purple wolf rays instead of everything just giving kind of white or yellow light. But yeah, I'd like to see some more interesting particle effects. I don't know about new planet types or anything like that. I don't think that's something they would even be able to add in at this point with the Stellar Forge being what it is. But there's a lot they can do to update the graphics on what's already out there, I think. To help that out. But, we'll just have to wait and see. It's a long-term process. But I feel like as long as we end up waiting, it ends up that a lot of these features come a lot sooner than we think. Like, it really feels like Vanguard's has not been out all that long. And we're already starting to look forward to Operations. So if nothing else, they've been pretty consistent in terms of getting these updates out, which I think is very impressive considering where the game was at, 3 years ago. Yeah, some of the stuff they do comes out better than others. But I think as long as we know they are still working on it, then I think we'll have we've got a pretty consistent schedule going, which I think is really what they need more than anything else. That way, if they do have an update that's just kind of very badly received, we already have a basic time frame of when the next thing's going to come out, right? All right, how we looking? How we looking? Oh, I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. It's a lot of hauling. It is a lot of hauling. But, you always get a little bit more anxious when you're almost done. When you're almost done. And we're going to have to do all of this again for the aluminum. But after the aluminum, we'll be done. That's it. No more. It'll be a finished station. I mean, looking at our time, we've been at it for an hour and 38 now. And we got... yeah, I think we're about on track with what I was saying. I said 10,000 an hour, and that's about where we're at. It seems to be good time, especially considering we have to get around this gas giant each time. It does slow it down a little bit. I haven't been using the boost as much as I probably should if we really want to like speed run this thing. But the question is, for the aluminum, do I want to go back to Wu Terminal? Or do I just want to do it in system and do the surface landings? I feel like going back to Wu Terminal would be faster. But, I mean, at the same time, you got to consider it's both load and unload. The surface landings will take longer in terms of, like, each individual run. But that's it. You know, I don't have to, like, send the FC around, right? I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I pressed that. We're hitting that time of night. God, I'm not going to want to work tomorrow. Oh, where'd my weekend go? So yeah, it might actually be faster just to do the surface port landings and just be done with it. Because then I don't have to wait the 15 minutes for my FC each way. And I mean, I got to get the CMMs and stuff anyways. It's like I might as well head down there. Come on. Come on. There we go. God, this thing. This thing is... boosting with my nukes at 350. Woo. All right, there we go. Yeah. God, I gotta had enough Shakespeare in my theater days. I'm cool with the question being, do I want to do surface landings over Hamlet any day of the week? Oh. All right. I think after this run, I'm gonna go back and hit up the surface port just to switch it up a bit, man. Just to switch it around. See some new sights. It's one thing when I got some shows on the second monitor. A little different when it's just B-Sky, and you guys are my entertainment. You gotta keep me entertained. I'm losing it. But yeah, since we got some people in chat though, I'll kind of go over the big news. In case you missed it at the beginning of the stream. So Gavin Magnus got banned. I don't know if you saw that or not. So Gavin Magnus, he got banned, and all of his colonies that he had sniped got transferred to the original chain owners, or whatever the closest system was, their owner, right? So that's kind of the big news, in addition to everything going on with the CG and all that. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people have gotten the word out yet. Just because the Reddit thread that was talking about it doesn't really, it's not very obvious. It's not in the title or anything like that. But yeah, if you were one of the 152 colonies that he had sniped through hacks and bots, double check, because you might have gotten that colony back. Pretty good to see. I really did not expect anything to happen. I'm very surprised that they actually did it. And I'm very glad that they did, because it was very clear, even if he wasn't using bots, which he was very clearly using bots once you learn what was going on in the systems that he had sniped. Even if he had not been using it, it's very clear that it was entirely to frustrate the community. So I'm very glad that they decided, okay, banning this one asshole is worth keeping all of these other players, right? But yeah, that was kind of the big thing. There's a Reddit thread about it. It's titled like, oh, a week of work for something, actually. And it is not super apparent that that's what it's about, because he's just showing a screenshot of his system. But yeah, got a lot of upvotes. Look for that. But yeah, it turns out that like there's all kinds of work that these architects are going to have to do to clean up the systems. But like he was botting up finishing the primary port, and then once the primary port was finished, he was hacking in like 8 construction sites. Like way more than you're supposed to be able to do once the primary port was finished. And like all of these ports are now invisible. So a lot of these architects can't even destroy them. Like you literally can't see them. The system knows that there's 8 construction sites there, but you can't see them. They're invisible. So yeah, if you were affected, you might have to put in a ticket to ol FDev and see if you can't get those reversed. But yeah, so that was kind of the big news. Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, a lot of my neighbors down in the other little mini bubble I was working on, like they just straight up stopped playing the game. He sniped 2 really cool systems from them, and they just stopped playing. I haven't seen them build anything else since then. I haven't really taken a look to see if they've been online, but it doesn't look like they have been. And yeah, they just straight up stopped playing the game, and I don't blame them because of how frustrating that is. But yeah, he was very clearly hacking his way into a lot of these systems, and botting his way to sniping them. So yeah, that's kind of the big news among colonization is all of those systems got freed up. If they didn't have a nearby system that they had a nearby architect, I think they went back to unclaimed. So take a look. I think there was one that I looked at. They're working on that water bubble right now. And I think he had sniped one of the nearby neutron star systems that they were going to try going for. And I think last I checked, if it's a system that I think they were going after. I looked yesterday and it had gone unclaimed, just completely unclaimed. So it didn't even go to a nearby owner. So yeah, some of them did go unclaimed. So if you had stopped playing because of that, or you had been affected, then yeah, give it a look. Good on FDev. Good on FDev for kicking a shitter out of the community. Even his Inara page got wiped. Because, he was bragging about all of the colonies he had sniped on his Inara biography. And yeah, even that just got completely obliterated. Like, there's nothing there. It no longer exists. It's not like a temporary suspension. Like, they just straight up banned him. So, good on them. Yay. All right, now what do we got here? Let's get some of this figured out. We're getting down there. We're getting close. Yay. CMMs. All right, what do we this? After this, I need 1395 of these. A little more than one run left. That's okay. That's fine. Like I said, at least this surface port is like right in view. At least it's got a good position. I would have hated this so much if it was on the other side of the planet from the construction site. But thankfully, that's why I think about thankfully, that's why I think about where I'm placing stuff out here in the lagoon. Because I did place this down so it would have a cool view. And turns out that worked in my favor. Turns out it puts me right where it needed to go. Hopefully it doesn't make a new account. I mean, like I said, it's not something that, like... It's very possible he could make another account, right? But the botting and the hacking that he was doing was so blatant that, like, I am genuinely surprised he wasn't banned before this. Because it was... I mean, placing down invisible construction sites in a system is very blatant. I mean, that's just straight up flaunting you can do it, right? But in terms of the botting and stuff, the sniping would have been a little bit harder. Because it is possible to snipe without using bots. It's just the amount of systems he was doing it to, the locations he was doing it at were like all over the bubble. And the sheer efficiency that he was doing it at, like there was no way he was getting that many systems that accurately without using bots. So, I mean, I think if it does start happening again, the bans will come much, much faster. And now they know what they can do. revert all the damage that he does. So, you know, I don't know if there would really be too much of a point to him trying to do it again. I mean, yeah, trolls are gonna troll, but the fact that FDev knows how to handle it now too means it'll get solved just as quickly. As far as a couple of the other snipers, most of them were doing it legitimately from the sounds of it. The guy that sniped the Bug Nebula is still around. He still owns the system right next door to me. One of the only Earth-like worlds in the Lagoon Nebula. And yeah, you know, nothing we can do. As far as I can tell, most of that work's been legitimate. I guess time will tell if a couple of these Earth-like suddenly go back to being unclaimed out of nowhere, right? But at least the biggest perpetrator is now out of the game, which is really what everyone wanted. The guy that sniped the Bug Nebula and he sniped this system that's right next door, I don't think he's got that many systems. He's sniping some big ones. Like, they're really good systems, but he doesn't have like 152 of them from what I can tell. And like I said, I already have a decent idea of who it is, right? I already have a decent idea of who it is, or at least what squadron he's related to. Isn't that right, Alpers? Right? Isn't that right, Alpers? But the issue doesn't seem to be as wide scale, so I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, he's got... I haven't actually visited this system that he has down there, but it's got like 400 something million, which is also kind of sus. There we go. 687 million. Yeah, I mean that's a little sus. I haven't been in there to see like what's actually built, but I know Gilgamesh has been helping them build it a little bit, or at least one of their players has been. I don't know about the guild as a whole, but it's someone's ult in there. There we go. Well, actually, we're gonna do one of each. We're gonna go bounce back and forth. Bounce back and forth between them. All right. So I need like, I've got what, 5,000 something on here. And then I need 5,000 something between CMMs and ceramics. And then it's nothing but aluminum all the way down. All right. But that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it as far as the stream goes tonight. I think I'm starting to lose it a little bit. Gonna make some coffee, get some food. Like I said, I literally woke up and started the stream in like 5 minutes, so I haven't even really had anything to eat. But I wanted to say hi to you guys and get another stream in this weekend, because you know I said we're gonna start working on 3 streams a week, and I meant it. So I want to try and keep that going. We just barely made it through the wire, but you know, we got it done. It's just a lot of adjustment with this new schedule and the new job and everything. But hey, you know, you can always like and subscribe and to help me not have to worry about that anymore, right? But we'll be back throughout the weekend. Like I said, there's a lot of other things we've got on the docket. Still need to finish FF10. I've been talking about that for 2 months now. We still got to finish FF10. We've got the official date for the next live letter. I think it's going to be December 2nd for FF14, and that one will have a lot of more information for the next patch that I'm excited about. So yeah, we can hop into some FF14. That's always another really easy one to just kind of zone out and chat and have a good time, just hanging out with each other, right? And then yeah, and then we'll just kind of see what's happening with some of the sales and stuff going on right now. With holiday sale on its way, we need to start making a list now that I can actually afford some new games. Let's take a look and see what we can do to introduce some some new stuff to the channel, in addition to the other things that I'm always working on. But thanks a ton for coming and hanging out with me tonight. We're out here in the Lagoon Nebula. This will be done tonight one way or the other. I don't know how much longer it's going to take me. Probably a couple more hours. But you can come and visit the Frogs of the Lagoon Welcome Center by the end of the night at some point. But thanks a ton, everybody. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. Be safe out there with the holiday coming up if you're here in the States. And I will see you throughout the week. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.